What's good, y'all? Frank Comaneris here, and this next guest is literally my brother. Not literally, but blood couldn't make us any closer. But I wanted to bring my boy Dom onto the show because he's somebody that gets the idea of just giving more to life than we take out of it before we leave here. A lot of people feel that in order to contribute to society or to be some type of a role model, that you have to have a perfect past. And in Dom's case, and in many of our cases, that's just not the reality. But actually, some of those things that could be the darkest moments in our past lead to us being more of a connectable figure and a story that people could see as inspiration that they could relate to. So I just want to have this conversation with Dom about, some of the things he's dealt with, what it is he's doing now, and just what our role in society is as people. So let me see if the homie picks up for his boy, man.
Yo,
Familia.
what's good, bro?
What's good, man? We live, man. I'm glad to get you on the podcast, bro.
And gotta do this one in person, man.
Yeah, we got. You know what? We're gonna have to spin the block on a part two. I'm sure of it, man. But people need this inspiration now. People need this work right now, man.
Nah, most definitely, fam. I'm glad to be here, bro.
What you was up to today? What you working on, man? I know it's always something in the community with the kids and stuff these days.
Oh man, city, man. We got two teams in the playoffs, so we was out there to get the seniors and the juniors ready
Mm.
for this little playoff run, man. This is huge. It's like the inaugural season, so you know everything we do is history right now. Just trying to restore that feeling in youth football right now.
Yeah, man, no one better to do it, man. I remember the high school days, man, going to those Thanksgiving Day big games, man, and just hearing Dom Griffen, Dom Griffen, Dom Griffen. I mean, 10 yards here, 20 yards here, touchdown here. So it's a beautiful
Yeah,
thing for them just to have, these connectable people that really did it, man. That's the big thing. Like, a lot of people could give back, and that's beautiful. And no matter where you are in life, what you did, what your goal is, like, giving back is a beautiful thing. But just having people that really been there that the kids could relate to. Like firsthand experience to say, I did this and now I'm back showing you the way, man. That's dope, man. I know that just has to be surreal being out there on that field that you grew up on, giving back to the young homies.
yeah, it feels crazy, bro. We've been out of high school almost 20 years
That's
now.
crazy,
So,
bro. Keep that down, bro. That's crazy. Watch your mouth.
man, almost 20 years, just, walking into school, being at the field, man, it's like nostalgic, you
Mhm.
know,
Uh,
out there. You like, man, I went to school with your parents. Like, they don't even know the history, but,
yeah.
you know, get back definitely good, man. I know you could attest to this too. Like, our goals really is to just kind of like be pillars within the community, being people who give back, just uplifting our youth and trying to inspire others to do the same, man. It's important.
No,
And we need it now more than ever.
that's a fact, man. Yeah, speak on that a little too, man. Like what do you feel that just as people, right? Not even me, you, just as anybody. What's our role as people in life, man? Like what are the things that everybody talks the big homie stuff and inspiration and whatever. Like what's our role in that? Like for real, for real. You got a generation of kids that's like
Yeah,
lacking guidance, and it seems like now more than ever. I'm sure we could look back, where we were growing up, but it just seems like now, man, like there's just so much going on. You got all these influences with like social media, the internet's right at their fingertips, and more access than we ever had to see the outside world. And so they got all kind of examples, man. So just with us, like
yeah.
what's our role in that?
I think, of course, man, our role, we really been out here demonstrating that. So, but to speak on it, man, just make of impact and motivating others to contribute. I know that brings some genuine fulfillment to myself and yourself, but like we passionate London and where we from, and like you said with the youth, there's so many negative influences. New London, you hear a lot of negative stereotypes about it. And then people in the town sometimes they tell their kids to grow up and just leave and don't look back, which is crazy. But
Yeah.
you know, I believe in our city, man. It's full of a lot of potential. You know, it's not a horrible place. I really feel like it's worth believing in. And you know, we out here demonstrating, man, and just doing our part to rebuild the pride,
Hmm.
strengthen the unity, and remind people that New London is a special place, man. And if we all come together, we really thrive.
No, that's a fact. And you do it beyond sports. Like, I know me and you, we connect on the program that we run for just, creating avenues for inspiration for the kids and whatnot. So you're invested in like every way, shape, and form. You're in the schools, you're a part of like grassroots programming, football. Like what is it just really about all of that makes you just like turn your whole life that direction? I mean, like you have so many avenues. You college educated, and I mean like athlete. Now you're certified in so many different things. Like, what is it about just giving back that just makes you devote your whole life to that?
You said a lot right there, man.
Yeah.
Much gratitude, bro. I appreciate it,
Oh,
man. It's really a lot. I'm trying to think of that Nipsey quote, man. He said something along the lines like, I'm at peace with what I'm doing right now. It was like, every day when I wake up, I feel good about, what I'm doing with my lifestyle because, at one point I really wasn't. And
hmm.
he was like, at my core, you know, when you living wrong and you know you're not on the right path, like, you cool on the surface, you can have money, cars, a lot of access to different things, but you know, if you know you're not really, what I'm saying, living in your purpose, it's never gonna feel good. So, right now I just feel like, giving back to the community, man, it feels great because, we're inspiring a lot of other people. Just helping others and just creating more connection and pride with where we live. It's not easy work, you know that.
Yeah,
So,
facts.
we really invest in a lot of our time and energy and resources into our community, but you know, just putting that good energy in the universe, man, it's definitely gonna come back, and it's gonna be it's gonna pay dividends for like the next generation coming up, man. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's what keeps me going.
There was always a narrative, right? That like the the teachers in the schools don't always look like the kids of the community, right? Especially in inner city schools. And now we look at whether there's a bunch of teachers that are from here or not, like the makeup of the schools and the makeup of people giving back, they do look like the kids. Like me and you are like very active, and people that we grew up with are very active and giving back to the youth, like really filling that void up and whatnot. So just you having people like yourself that relate to where they came from. Like we ain't really have a lot of those when we were in school. Um, my senior year, I remember like kind of why I didn't go to college amongst other reasons. Like just the way it was positioned to me, go to school to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever it was. Like I was never told from guidance counselors that, me being a young music artist, aspiring rapper, no one ever told me about how I could go to school for audio engineering. I could run a studio, or I could go for performing arts, or I could just simply be on a college campus around a large population of people while getting educated. I could push my music. Like just people that I felt if I had people that like related to me a bit more because they knew what mattered to me and how to reach me, that they would have been more effective in like showing me what's available in the world to me. But like now we got people that really connect to the kids because we come from where they're at. Know what I mean? So it's just dope having, that element. And even further than that, like, like, however much we want to get into this, like we come from a lot of the things that we look to inspire you to not get into, right? Like we're talking about, I know last year you celebrate. I mean, last year you got your pardon for your situation and whatnot. You just celebrated, the 1 year anniversary of that. You know what I mean? So being in certain elements and whatnot, like people might look at it like these are setbacks, and they are and whatnot. But when we're on the other side of it, the way we get to use those pieces of our story as attributes to connecting with youth that are in certain elements to say, yo, I've been there. Let me tell you a little about that. But let me also show you like the brighter ways that people didn't show me. Like, so it's so dope to have, people like yourself and others that could relate to like again what we come from and what we've been through to really reach kids that other people may not, man. Like all of that, especially in inner city schools, all of the uppity being perfect and having things all together and looking at certain elements and looking down on them and talking down on them isn't always going to connect to our youth. Sometimes they need people that really get it as like firsthand to be able to say, yo, this is what it is. This is what it ain't. Let me tell you about this. I get it. But look at these other things that are available to you that are better. Know what I mean? Like, how do you position that? Like how do you use that as an attribute? Know what I mean? Because I remember even the position you're in right now, like just to get people, to preface it, like I remember sitting in a meeting where we were starting a program for the youth and we were looking for somebody to really be the face of this program and to be out in the streets, out in the schools, like really just connecting. And so when we were looking for candidates of people that could be that person to really connect in the world around us, in our city and whatnot, it was very important to me that we had somebody that really could relate to the kids firsthand, no matter what they were dealing with. And we know a lot of what is going on, out here. So, we look at people that might have, certain records or whatnot, or certain things they had to overcome, and that might hinder them from getting certain jobs or rule them out. But like in this case, like, connecting with youth that again need that firsthand experience, it was more of an attribute. Like, yo, not only is this something that you have gone through, but you've overcome, and the way you overcome it was like what overcame it was just, and is still this just so beautiful. And again, a story of inspiration. So talk to me a little about that. Like, know what I mean, like as much as you want to get into it and just how you took that and didn't let it define your story, but it was just something that you overcame and now you use as something that could inspire youth that you talk to.
I mean, I would really have to say like, you know, going through my adversity, it kind of pushed me onto the path that I'm on now. And you my brother, man. To be honest, I never saw myself, working in education, being like a youth coordinator, working in behavioral health. That was never a part of my plan. I just wanted to play sports and or just coach, just always be around the game. But, this last 10 years have just shown me like, life has a way of really redirecting you when, you're meant for something bigger. And, everything that I went through, what I'm saying, it positioned me for the moment that I'm in now, man. And like, getting arrested, being on probation, being a convicted felon, and having to deal with that. Like, there was a point where I was a convicted felon with a college degree, and it was like, you're overqualified for this job, but we can't hire you because you got a felony. So it's just like, yo, what? Like, I atoned for all of my mistakes. I'm trying to, pay it forward and I'm saying, restart my life, and it kind of held me back. So it was really unique in this position to where, my background kind of like helped me. I'm saying? It was crazy because, for 10 years it was the opposite of that. So, I kind of use, my adversity as a learning lesson, man, for the kids that I do work with, even for some young adults, like, I was a young adult when I went through my struggles, and what really helped me was, having people like ourselves and former teachers and coaches and educators, man. Like, I don't even want to start naming names because I'm gonna forget some names, and I don't want
Yeah.
nobody to get mad at me,
So
man.
so
But
many real
like,
ones out there, man, that really held it down.
yeah, Gloria Dover, Scott Morgan, New London High School, man, Juan Roman, Coach Roman, Mr. Majors. Now I got to name names. Man, Miss
Yeah.
McGuire, my colleagues, like, I never, uh, how can I say, man? long story short, bro, I got arrested, and my first court date, I had like 7 or 8 character letters sent to the courthouse, just defending me, and people just, taking up for me, saying, he's a great person, he's just going through something. And I was like, man, like I got all these people that, got great expectations of me, man. I gotta turn it around. Like, so, I kind of made a promise to myself, like, when I get out this situation, you know, I'm gonna do right, man, and I'm gonna just pay it forward to the community. So, that's why we relentless with the grind, man.
Yeah. And that's just why like people got to take that as a note to like just not give up on people and take tough times and mark people off because if people did that to you, do we have the Dom Griffin that is coaching sports and running programming and connecting with youth and giving them inspiration and better outlets and advice and getting into the gym with and I mean like all of the things that you do if people didn't
Yeah,
band together to hold it down for you and just continue to be there for somebody that we know that's a good person. You we lose out on a lot of that. Know what I mean? And so for them holding it down, look at the result of that. Look how we benefited as a city from the ones that did hold it down. There's a bunch of people that will share your police log all over the internet and whatnot, and that's a whole different story. But for the ones
yeah,
that
that was
yeah, nah, crazy. For the ones that held it down and showed the love, man, we get a lot from there. Do you have examples of kids that you connect to that just are in those elements that what I mean that we once known so well that just your words and again, just that example or giving them a different outlet, a different perspective that they're like, yo, wow, I never heard it like that. Cause we also got a bunch of fake big homies out here that, are leading kids the wrong way. They're young and impressionable and, the music and whatever it is got them feeling like drill artists in the streets and whatnot. And so, coming across some of those examples that ain't leading them the right way and whatnot. Do you come across kids in that element that just hearing a word or two or a little bit of guidance or a piece of your story and or how it went left that it deters them from the BS that they probably could be partaking in and just saying like wow like that's like a wake up moment there like you come across kids like that often?
oh man, every day, bro. Experience is like the best teacher. So,
Hmm.
a lot of our kids, man, now, they're like they grew up with tablets and iPhones. So, instant gratification is like really a part of like their DNA. You know what I'm saying? So, we tell them a story. It's like, unless they could see it, it didn't happen. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So, if I could tell a kid, yo, I went through this, like, you don't want to be outside trying to get fast money because it's going to cost you X, Y, Z. And, being a criminal is expensive. And when you're able to like really break it down for them, you start seeing them like really process it and like, wait, you know what? You might be right. Oh, you went through this before and you graduated and you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
We know how to paint that picture for them, you know what I'm saying, without like talking down on them or like making it feel like we're lecturing to them, you know what I'm saying? So,
Facts.
you know, I always say like, the challenges I face, man, it really opened my eyes to, how much people, especially younger people, need support, understanding, positive role models, and now I feel like I see that my experiences prepared me to connect with others and guide them to help them overcome their own struggles. Because, when you going through it, man, them days is long and it's like you might not have no examples at arm's reach to, draw inspiration from because, people just not, trying to give back.
Yeah.
So, that's important for us, man. And, I feel like what was once, my setback, it kind of like became the foundation for what my purpose is now, man.
One
So it's
thousand
like
percent 1000%.
it's a beautiful thing, bro.
Yeah, yo, and so there's so many layers, right, to like inspiring or influencing a better path. There's obviously, the narrative of talking about, evading jail time and all of the misfortunes and then there's the angle of being the good person, but there's also like I don't know if there's a misconception that being positive or not being in the streets means you're going to be broke, but there's a lot of money out here doing a lot of everything that you can be doing outside of that. And I think it's also a beauty of us having a network of people that we graduated with, friends of ours, and extended family and whatnot that we've met throughout our journeys of that are examples and people that could open doors to making a lot of money doing a lot of other things, man. Like, me running my
Yeah,
business, man. Like, yo, 20, 30, $40,000 contracts or us applying for and getting $20,000 grants and whatnot. Like, bro, we ain't never make that in the streets like that. Know what I mean? So even just showing kids like the things that are available to them that's outside of their doorstep, if they apply themselves differently, is dope that we have so many examples like that in our community that are guiding and creating outlets and avenues for kids to do the things that they want to actually do in life and show them that it could be lucrative, bro.
yeah, and you made a post. I want to say it was a couple weeks ago about people in the community complaining about there not being things for the kids to do in the community,
Yeah.
and got a lot of great programming. There's a lot of motion going on in New London right now, man. So
Mhm.
you know
Yeah,
we just got to keep pushing the information out there because I think it might be like a little breakdown in how information is getting distributed to the community. But New London ain't but so big, so people got to really apply themselves as well. But we got a lot out there, man, and there's more to come.
yeah,
So
I really still ain't get to the bottom of that. Like, I don't know if people believe there's really not things to do and things going on, but I'm somebody that has even like ran programming, revolving around, what it is that I'm seeing that the kids are looking for. And I'm not, and I'm tapped in. Like I'm somebody with a large network. I've ran, huge talent shows every year that, 1,300, 1,400 people in the building.
yeah,
Like, so for
sold
even
out
me,
shows.
yeah. So for me to run a studio program, giving kids free studio time and to have minimal participation sometimes, it puzzles me when I hear there's not things to do for the kids because we run some of these things. And even looking back when people compare now to before, a lot of the things that exist today, we didn't have access to. I didn't have access to studios, let alone free studio time, just affordable studio time for me to get
Yeah,
in and take my craft and what really interested me. Like I didn't have that available to me at all. And now they have it available at their fingertips. Just be on social media, see a post, see a flyer, send an email, show up somewhere, and it doesn't cost anything. Like I don't really know what the disconnect is. Some people could say it's information and marketing. And I don't know if it's, things that are and aren't appealing to I don't know what it is, but I just see so many things available in so many different, elements that I don't really get it. Like I don't know if we're just in a space where people want to nitpick at things or like I don't know what it is, but I just know there's a lot going on and a lot of people involved to do things for the youth that the narrative just can't be that there's nothing going on for these kids.
yeah, bro. I couldn't agree more, bro. And it can be discouraging, like when you are somebody who's running programming or you're putting together events with different community partners like we do, and
Mhm.
sometimes the participation isn't what we would expect. It is discouraging, but it takes time though. So we just got to keep you know laying the foundation, man, one day at a time,
For
and
sure.
everything could come together.
Nah, solid. I mean, yo, even the way y'all held it down and brought and revived the feeling with the football league. Like we didn't know where that was going to go, while, some of the stuff was being hashed out with, the old football league and the future of it and, kids not participating and coming out. It just kind of showed with that persistence that, y'all made it happen. Like we have weekly games, know what I mean, happening right in our backyards and whatnot in a group of kids that, are benefiting from that, man. So, just that
Yeah,
persistence and people continuing to show up.
yeah, sometimes things might, start off a little controversial, or there might be a lot of disagreements and hard feelings, but like we always say, man, our loyalty lies with the youth and the future, of New London. So,
Hmm.
you know, if if you can't get on board with that, I really don't know what to tell you, man,
Nah,
because
facts.
it just doesn't make sense. But shout out to Wayland City, shout out to Coach Rel Green, man,
Well,
for really,
my
really,
man.
step, and like we said, it was a little controversial, man, at that meeting. There's a lot of family in there, man.
Yeah,
It was a lot of everybody's passionate about New London youth sports and football, and to be particular. And shout out to the original, New London Youth Football League, man, Coach James,
1,000%. Hmm.
and those my coaches, man. It's all love, but we're stronger when we united, man.
Yeah,
So
better
I hope
better
those.
together than apart, man. Like you called it, man. It's just family stuff, man. Sometimes the family feuds, and we know nobody wins when the family feuds, but sometimes we're gonna bump
Fact.
heads. I mean, especially about things we're so passionate about. But I do hope that there are moments of reconciliation where people just come together and realize like we're all essentially doing the same thing and doing it for the same cause and the same people, man. And again, just some of that tension when you're passionate, it's inevitable. You know what I mean? Some of the head bumping when you're family and you love each other and you got differences. You know what I mean? It's just inevitable, man. But it's more about how we bounce back and overcome certain things.
Most definitely, man. Another thing that might be a reason why a lot of the programming and things that are available for the community doesn't get out there, is because there might be a lot of overlapping of certain services, and people might not want to collaborate. You
Yeah.
know, slick competition or whatever the case may be. But we preach, man, collaboration over competition. If
One,
if you want a similar mission, like I am, man, we could grow together. Like you know, so
no, that's a
you
fact.
know,
That's a fact. And look, and just speaking of like showing up and creating and laying the foundation for the future. Like, what do you feel that we got to do next? Like, what are some of the next steps or things that you're looking forward to that we this might not be a reality now, but is on the horizon or just in the hopes and wishes for where where any of this goes.
I'm really excited about the future. Overall from London. Because we got a lot of great people like ourselves, man, that's out there really putting in the work. So, I feel like if you're not excited about the future, it's because you're not really putting in the work. So, you know, days, would you work 7 days a week, bro?
Man, sometimes I feel like more than that. Like,
Yeah,
when you're doing things you're passionate about, man, even on what people would consider the days off, you're still plotting and planning. You're thinking about things. You're aligning things. You're
yeah,
sending text messages and emails. You're sitting down, just visioning everything. Like
yeah.
the grind don't stop, as you said, brother.
Nah, it definitely doesn't, man. And, I just know that, we got guys in our generation, older generations and even younger ones that are inspired by, a lot of the work that we're doing. And, that's what it's really all about, man. Like,
Yeah,
just coming together and, rebuilding that pride up, getting the city back to what it really should be for the next generation, man.
yeah.
And, I like the momentum, man. The trajectory is definitely going upward, man. So, got
Yo,
to stay locked in.
on that, man, just as we close, bro, like any I know you got a busy night ahead of you, man. You about to get in the gym, mind, body, soul, get that slow money, man. So just as we as we
Sure.
as we close up, man, any message you got for any of the young homies or any of the quote unquote big homies, just as what it is we should be doing, what's going on, just any inspiration or words of wisdom for what our role is, and and all of that. Just anything, man.
Yeah, definitely for the for the younger ones, man. Just if you got genuine people in your life, in your corner, it could be your parents, coaches, educators. When you got genuine people that that are in your life and they really want to see you win with no ulterior motive, don't take them for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because those people are priceless.
Hmm.
You might not pick up some of the gems that they're trying to pass on to you now, but a few years from now, you might just go through a life event and be like, man, you know, um, Mr. Colmenares was right. He really believed in me. Like, so, you know,
Facts.
that's
Facts.
that's pretty much it, man. Just stay positive, man, and keep demonstrating and doing everything the right way, bro.
Solid, man. Dog, I love you, bro. I'm glad we locked in and connected the way we are, man, and that we just are surrounded by people that that keep us going, or that fill in the voids in aspects of what we're doing that we might not have figured out, but like you said, bro, we're better together than apart, man. So it's just dope to have people on this journey with us that again fill those voids and fill the gaps, and just as a collective, this impact that we make, you know what I mean, as a unit, man, it's just dope to have all of these pieces around us, man. And you're a huge part of all of that, man. I love and appreciate you, my guy.
Man, gratitude, bro. I love you more, family.
Yes, sir, man. All right, we going to link. Get the slow money in, man. Mind, body, soul, bro.
You already know. No let up.
Yes, sir, my guy.
One.
That's my brother, man. A lot of jewels and gems in there, man, whether it's about community and staying positive, or just resilience and overcoming adversity, or just, you know what I mean, how we're stronger together than apart, man. Just so much going on. I can't wait to look back at it and pick up on some of the gems that I usually get when I talk to my brother, man. It's so important to have positive people around us. Um, and that's one of the ones in my circle that I'm blessed to have, man. Dom Griffen, just somebody giving back to the youth and just being an example for his peers and beyond. It's a real special brother, man. Yeah, man. What a great segment, y'all. Beautiful, bro. Beautiful. I love y'all. Thank God always. Appreciate y'all tuning in to the Quite Frankly podcast. Another great episode, and I'm looking forward to what's on the horizon and the ones ahead, man. I'm out of here.